What's up, man? This is Struggle Zone. Welcome to the Struggle Zone, man. I say, dig this. I want to make a quick um, video, man. Talk about these little issues that we have going on, man. Dig this, right? We have this thing where a lot of our brothers and sisters, our black men, so-called black men and women. On one hand, you have the men bashing the women, and you have the women bashing our men. And this is why I have a strong problem with that. Because the reason I have a problem with it is because it's dangerous and it does not benefit us in a way, shape, form, or fashion. It don't. We got to start getting this shit under control, man, and we need to do it now. So I'm doing my part, man. So I'm working on a few things behind the scenes, man, to build, man, so we can to bring some things to the table on my own by myself right now. But let me say this, right? This is why that is so dangerous. When you look at other groups of people, what you see is like, and let's take these Europeans, Caucasian, white people, for instance, right? When you look at their group, they have all type of problems in their group. But one thing you don't see the men coming out and bashing their women. You dig what I'm saying? But in the same token, you don't see the women coming out and bashing their men. Yeah, they may argue amongst themselves, you know what I'm saying? But publicly, when they come out in public, it's all about them as a group. It's not about how I feel, how the men feel about it, how the women feel about it. They understand that their group is stronger if they possess a unified front on all levels. When you go to the Hispanic community, you never see Hispanic men bashing their women. You don't see the women, Hispanic women, bashing their men. They don't do it. You don't see it in the Jewish community. You don't see it in the Asian community. We are the only people who does that dumb shit. It's stupid. Yes, okay, we're in a situation. Fine, we're in a situation. Fuck how we got in the situation. How the fuck we gonna get out of it is what we need to be focused on. Fuck how we got in it. We study how we got in it so we don't end up back in it. So we learn from the mistakes that our ancestors made in the past. That's how we handle that. But our focus has to stay solid and grounded on how we're getting out of this fucking situation. While we constantly fight and bickering back and forth like fucking children, you got other people that come into our community and they setting up grocery stores, they setting up gas stations, they setting up convenience stores, clothing stores, nail salons, restaurants. They setting all this shit up in our community. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because we constantly fighting back and forth like children. Like we don't have common fucking sense. And everybody else is coming into our communities and building something. Every community that's predominant, that has the majority of our people in it, everything in that community should be owned, controlled by our people. Period. Period. And us fighting, going back and forth, our men want to blame the women want to blame the men. But if you take the time out and you look at the situation in its entirety, we both are responsible. Period. If you say that men is dating outside of the race, okay. If women are dating outside of the race, you say, well, the men do more. Who gives a fuck who does it more? If it's wrong, if we see it's wrong, we cannot blame the men and not blame the women. We cannot blame these women. We can't blame these women and not blame these men. We all have our part. We all have situations. We have certain of our men who I think is weak individuals who will come out and bash our women publicly. We have our women, who I think are weak women, who will come out and bash our men publicly. You have a right to your issues. You have a right to your grievances. But it's how you deal with it. If you're not talking about going behind the scenes and figuring out how to correct certain issues within our group, then you need to shut the fuck up and let those of us who want things to do better, who want to control our economics in our communities, and do what we need to fucking do. Let us handle that. And the rest of you niggas and niggettes who don't want to do things, you only want to point fingers instead of coming up with solutions on how can we solve our issues, then we need to just be quiet, show some decorum. Look at every other group. They kicking our asses. And while we point fingers at each other, no, it's his fault. No, it's her fault. No, it's his fault. No, it's... Who gives a fuck whose fault it is? If you spill some milk, if somebody accidentally spills some milk on the floor in the kitchen, are y'all gonna sit there and argue about who spilled the milk or who spilled the cake, and y'all just gonna leave it there on the floor and not clean it up? Somebody gonna have to take this fucking responsibility, man. If those of you don't want the responsibility, get the fuck out the way, be quiet, and let those of us who want that responsibility take care of it. You dig what I'm saying? But what we got to stop doing as a group, it's not just the women, it's the men too. It's the men too. Both sides, both parties have to stop bashing each other publicly, man. If you have an issue, if you don't like what you see that's going on, that the women are doing, then you organize and try to help them out and try to correct them. You don't bash them. If you see some shit that the men is not doing, then we need to get behind the scene and we need to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But publicly, we got to show some fucking decorum. Because what we not realizing that the things that we say and we do publicly affects the rest of us. It affects the rest of us. Because at the end of the day, what we got to understand is that what our men have to understand is that we're not going to get out of this situation without our women. It's just what it is. And our women, you got to understand that y'all not going to get out of this without your men. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get out of this without us. And we're not going to get out of it without you. We all we got. We ain't got no fucking friends. We all we got. So at the end of the day, the main thing that we need to focus on is correcting our issues. Watch how we speak to one another. You know what I'm saying? Don't be calling these women all out their fucking names. Bitches and hoes and shit. Whether you feel that's what they are is irrelevant. What we need to start doing is focusing on what's best for the group as a whole. That's what everybody else does. They are focused on their group. We are the only people who focus on ourselves as individuals. And we're not looking at the bigger picture. And this is why you have these young people grow up who don't respect the elders. Respect the older people. Because if you're acting like children, they might treat you like a child too. They might as well, if that's what you're acting like. We got to do better, man. And we got to quit feeling like it's okay because you are in your feelings about whether a dude done fucked over you or whatever. You're in feelings. Don't impose that on all of us. Brothers, if you're in a relationship with a woman and that relationship went bad and it didn't work out, keep that how you feel on that one individual female. Don't impose that shit on all women. You know what I'm saying? Don't impose that shit on all women. Because all women didn't do that to you. You had a disagreement, you had an argument, and you and this woman probably wasn't compatible. Shit happens. She probably was a low down woman, or you probably was a low down dude, or whatever the scenario is. Keep that shit as an individual level. Do not come out and talk about this is how all black women are. Sisters, if you have a dude that fucked over you, that dogged you out, deal with your issues with that dude. Don't impose that on all of us. Don't impose it. That's our problem. You did? So this is what we got to do. We got to do better. Welcome to the struggle zone, man. We got to focus on getting out of the situation. And we got to hold our own people, our men and our women, feet to the fire. If they are off code, we got to call them out on their bullshit. I don't give a fuck who it is. If I'm out of line, call me out on my bullshit. If you out of line, I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. I don't give a fuck if you're a woman or a man. This is what it is, man. Peace out, man.